last update, we started on the hangar area with getting a couple pillars put in and just an overall good look so far for the hangar. But I did mention we are going to add a 32 by 32 base plate, so I'll show you guys all what I have planned for that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the update. So obviously I wanted to start with the 32 by 32 base plate for the front of the row, but I did decide to grab one figure, and that was my R5 astromech droid, which will be in the scene. I did get a little bit of the rock work done. This is kind of as high as the rock work will go here for the moment, because there will be a section on top that we will be building onto that with some more rock work obviously above that. However, this is what I wanted to get done. First, I wanted to start with building these walls for, the inside of the actual base here. These are like the Imperial walls that we see a lot, lots of lights, the white. So I did come up with a couple different prototypes, as you can see when I'm building. But the 3 prototypes I decided to come up with were pretty great, but I decided to dwindle it down, piece by piece. So obviously the first one we have here uses a lot of just plate, just white plate and whatnot, so it's not super great. The next one I decided to use translucent clear pieces, possibly to add light behind, but we'll see. And this last one is similar to the first one, but it does have these round plates at the edge of each, I would say line, if you want to call it that, which it adds a great shadow effect, but I just don't know if I really like it a whole lot. Please leave your favorite down in the comments below. I did decide to start on the platform here and connect it to a couple snot bricks above the rock work, and I have to say I'm pretty happy so far with it and how it looks, so I definitely want to start building more onto it, so that is what we are going to do. As you can see, it lines up pretty well with the already established rock work on the gray base plates, so I decided to finish up the walls here. I picked my design of the main wall, obviously, and then these other walls that are a part of this hallway area that we are constructing, adding a few details on the wall and whatnot, but I did decide to go with the white stripes, just the white plates. For now, we'll see if I do decide to change that later, and a couple other just like basic wall designs, not something that's super drastic, but I did decide to go with this kind of like basic design that uses these jumper plates in the middle. But putting them on, it looks pretty good for the time being. Just kind of testing it out, and R5 fits pretty well there in front of the whole layout here. I did decide to add a kind of beam at the top here just to finish off the doorway area, and it looks pretty nice. It flows well in my opinion, I think, and I hope you guys think so as well. I did add a little bit of rock work, as you can see. Now, a few days later, I decided to work a little bit on the pillars. I did run out of certain slope pieces and whatnot that are pretty crucial to the rock work. Now, with this, the pillars are taking a lot of parts and time. There's probably going to be like a solid 6 to 8, I want to say, pillars total, and the 2 that I have right now are nowhere close to being done. Obviously the first one in the front is a little close, but I think they're going to be pretty tall compared to the rest of the MOC. So this MOC is going to be very big, Mandalore just overall, but it's looking pretty nice for the time being. And just the new addition with the 32 by 32 is just looking really great. Now, obviously, as you can see, the edges of the platform are now slanted, have the slopes there, and it is a bit of a smaller corridor overall, but I think this is going to look pretty nice, obviously with the rest of the build, and it's going to kind of match the vibe and just the overall architecture of the just the rest of the build. So I think this is turning out pretty nice, and let's go ahead and finish up the rock work and see what else we can do for the mock. So I did come up with this like roof design, the ceiling design with that utilizes my lights for the build. Now I did want to make this hallway a little bit lit up, obviously. Now these are warm lights, so I don't know if I'll get like cooler lights to make it a little bit better, but this is what I've come up with so far. And it turns on and it looks pretty nice for the time being, but that's all I have for that.
Alright, so I just got back from Brickworld. Mandalore I delayed a week, but something I did pick up at Brickworld, a couple things actually. So first we have obviously the ATRT attack, and I have the Remnant ATRT driver and the new Grogu there, along with Mando, of course. Now, that is going to be very helpful for Mandalore itself, but yeah, that's just kind of like one of the few things I got that will help Mandalore a little bit, but yeah, let's get back into the video. Obviously,
like I said before, I did run out of rock work, so I'm not going to be able to finish it for the rest, so I decided to work a little bit on the top here and maybe get a little bit more done on this hangar. I did create these little square areas, which are a little bit more detailed for the hangar. I just want it to be a huge slab of dark bluish gray like the other, like the first base plate, but adding these I think gets a lot more detail for the mock overall. And with that, I have basically completed what I've wanted to do for this update. I do have a little bit more dark bluish gray bricks and whatnot to add to the top here, but I am a little bit low on a lot of parts. This mock has really made a dent in my dark bluish gray collection, as you can tell. But, the new edition has obviously made a big impact on the mock, and I think it looks pretty good overall. Please leave your favorite part down in the comments below. I'd love to hear all your feedback and whatnot for Mandalore. I hope to get a lot more done in the next update, so we'll see exactly where I am when that rolls around. Probably in the next couple weeks or so will be the next update. I'll have Minecraft stuff coming out in the next week, so we'll see when Mandalore gets posted, but just leave your favorite part down in the comments below. I'm super happy with the progress we made today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.